Hi guys, welcome back to the Drive Life channel. In today's video we're going to be telling you how to prepare your Volvo for the winter. Now, winter's definitely here. We're in single degrees, temperatures definitely dropped, there's a lot of rain. As you can see, Mrs. DL looks like she's done the Sardinian rally today. Took the car out and trashed it. But yeah, we're going to go through the things that you can do to make winter a little easier for your car. Cold temperatures, harsh weather, salt, etc. They are a car's worst nightmare, and they all happen during the winter. As you can see, we've even had a cat asleep on it this morning. So yeah, this was pretty much clean this morning, believe it or not. So let's get straight into it. Now, we're going to focus on the engine first. That is the lifeblood of the car. So engine oil. If your car is due an engine oil, don't wait until after the winter. Get it done now. It's better to get it done sooner rather than later. High quality engine oil will perform far better in the cold, reducing the wear on your engine. If you leave old broken down oil in your engine in the car over winter, each time that car starts, it's not getting the best chance to be lubricated. So bear that in mind. And the filter is exactly the same. Make sure you replace that filter. Next up as well is coolant. Now, coolant obviously keeps your car cool during sort of a driving cycle, but actually it plays an important part when it's cold as well. If you're not replacing your coolant regularly, there's more chances that your thermostat is going to fail. If your thermostat fails, the car can overheat, or it can actually take a really long time or never get up to temperature. Perfect example is this. We were in Sweden, it was minus 15 degrees, and our thermostat actually froze shut, meaning the car wouldn't get up to temperature. Sorry, it froze open. No, froze shut. So the coolant wasn't entering. No, it didn't. It froze open. So the coolant was constantly being cooled, and yeah, just really wasn't performing well. We had no heating in the cabin in minus 15, and the car wasn't very happy at all. Fuel economy was affected, etc. So yeah, that is something to bear in mind. If your coolant is due, or if you've never done the coolant, just get it done. You can do it yourself. It costs 50 quid maybe to do yourself, and I've got a video on that. If you just search it on the channel, just get it done. It makes life far easier. Power steering fluid, again, if you've got really old power steering fluid, your pump is going to struggle in these cold conditions. All of these fluids thicken up, especially your power steering and your oil. It will thicken up during the cold weather, making it harder for your car. You're more likely to then have a power steering pump failure, or an oil pump failure, etc. So just bear that in mind. Now, in order for the engine to run, obviously you need fuel, and in the fuel system you've got things like your fuel filter. Now, fuel filters can often catch condensation, and this can freeze and actually reduce the flow through your fuel filter. Replace that before the winter if it's due. If you've just had one on 6 months ago, then it's probably going to be fine, but if it's getting on, get it replaced in advance of the winter. A, you don't want to be doing it in the freezing cold, and B, that water freezing in the system will play havoc with the rest of the fueling system. It can cause problems with injectors, etc. So just bear that in mind. It'll also reduce your fuel economy, which it's already going to reduce anyway because of the cold weather, so you don't want to then perpetuate that issue by not changing things on the car. Finally then, in the engine bay, we're going to discuss the battery. These are, winter is make or break for batteries. Usually you find out that your battery's toast on the first cold day of the year when your car doesn't start. If your car's been struggling to start, or perhaps the battery has been running low, or it's just a slow to start, slow to turn that engine, get your battery replaced now. Don't wait until a cold day and your battery is completely flat. Like I said, cold weather kills these batteries, and a weak battery will fail, leaving you stranded. And the worst thing, it's not too bad if it happens at home and you can't go to work, but if you're stuck at work and you can't get home, that's rubbish. So get that done if it needs doing, and just maintain the car. air filters, everything like that. Give the car the best chance you can, because you're going to reduce the possibility of cold weather failures. That includes belts as well. You may remember in February last year, just before I drove to the Arctic Circle, we had a belt fail, and that was the alternator belts, which powered the power steering as well, and the air conditioning. That failed. That's probably because it was worn. Had I replaced it before the winter, obviously wouldn't have had a failure in the freezing cold. But also, weak belts are more likely to fail in colder weather. So if you're going to have an issue, you're going to have it during the winter. So it's just worth getting that done. I recommend doing that every sort of 50,000 miles or so. It's 15 quid to change the belt. It's a bit of a nightmare taking all the engine mounts and everything off, but for the sake of 15 quid and a day's work, it's worth doing. You don't want to get left stranded. So that is it for the engine bay. Apart from the fact that if there's anything else, say you've got oil leaks, turbo leak or something like that, just get it sorted before the winter. Don't keep putting it off. I know times aren't as easy as they used to be. Money's perhaps shorter than it was. Everything costs more, but it's going to cost a whole lot more if you don't get it done. It's a sort of diminished returns in terms of trying to put things off. So value your car, invest in it, because it will keep you out of a bad situation. Brake fluid again is another one, and just really get this stuff done before it becomes too much of an issue. Preventative maintenance is key. Moving on then to the transmission. Now, arguably the transmission is as important as the engine, because without the transmission you can't go anywhere. But these TF80 SC transmissions, they can be quite sensitive to cold weather if the fluid is old in them. Now, the fluid's been done in this car. I've actually filmed that video a few months back and I still haven't uploaded it. It's hidden somewhere on a hard drive, so I need to dig that out. But changing the fluid on the gearbox is going to reduce chances of other failures, other mechanical failures, reduce the chances that the valve body are going to have issues, etc. So getting that done before the cold weather really hits is definitely worth doing. Like I said, it's all pretty much the same. If it's going to fail, it's more likely to fail in cold weather, so just bear that in mind. Electrics is another one. If you've got any lights out in the winter, you're going to really struggle. Headlight out, rear lights out, etc. As the nights draw in, the sun rises later, you're just going to find yourself driving in the dark a whole lot more than usual. And making sure that you've got full complement of working headlights and brake lights is really, really crucial for your own safety throughout the winter. Driving without a headlight can be dangerous. People might not see you, might mistake you for a motorbike, etc. Just get it done. These bulbs, if you've got halogen bulbs, are cheap. If you've got xenon bulbs, they're slightly more expensive, but just think of it like this. If you buy a new xenon bulb or a HID bulb, it's going to then last for probably 5-10 years. So just get it done. It's worth it. It's worth it compared to having an accident. If you have an accident and you've got headlights out and the person says they don't see you, then sort of it becomes a bit of an insurance headache. So just make sure that's all sorted, as well as your indicators as well. All these things we should be doing anyway, but it's especially important during the winter time. Now, windscreen washers. These cars do have issues with these blocking up, especially the heated windscreen washers. Now, they heat up when you turn the rear defrosters on, but the issue is it then evaporates all sort of the washer fluid in there, and will then block it up with dry residue. So just bear that in mind. It can be a bit of a nightmare. And your wiper blades as well. Dodgy wiper blades when there's a lot of mud and rubbish on the road, as you can clearly see here. Your windscreen's going to get filthy. If you can't clear it, then that is going to be quite dangerous, especially at night as you're driving home from work. If you can't clear your windscreen when it's raining, etc. It just makes life very difficult, and for the sake of a few quid you can get it sorted. Now, moving on to tyres, and again, this is probably, I know I've said about this about all the other bits, but these are extremely important. Tyres, make sure you've got tyres with good tread. You see, these are my brand new Michelin Cross Climates. They've got 9mm of tread on them. They're absolutely sorted. And the rears, they're all good as well. Thing is with this time of year, summer tyres just don't really cut it. They don't perform as well in colder conditions, but also if you get any sort of snow, ice, heavy rain, etc., you're going to struggle. So I recommend an all-season tyre at least. Winter tyres is probably a bit of a push, so a crossover tyre like this Michelin Cross Climate here gives you the best of both worlds. I've driven to the Arctic Circle on these tyres, -36 in snow, and they were fantastic. So they are expensive. They're not as expensive as sort of the top end summer tyre, so I'd recommend getting a set of these for all seasons then. If you're someone who's still using winter tyres and summer tyres, this is probably your best bet to go for a cross tyre like that. Never had any issues with the Michelin tyre, touch wood, no bulges, punctures, etc. Done probably whatever 100,000 miles now on Michelin tyres, and yeah, they have been faultless. Now, the biggest thing that a lot of people don't realise about colder weather is that it actually reduces the pressure in your tyre. Now, pressure and temperature are inextricably linked in the fact that they will increase as one increases, the other increases as they do when they decrease. So as the temperature drops, even if the temperature drops by half, in theory your tyre pressures will drop by half. So if you set your tyre pressures when it's 30 degrees outside and it's now 15, your tyre pressures will have dropped. So you need to get that sorted. That'll affect performance, it'll affect fuel economy, and affect the overall sort of handling of the car. So yeah, lots and lots of things to consider there. And I've basically just told you to fix anything that's wrong, but hopefully I've given you the reasons why and encourage you to get on and sort it. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Let me know if I've missed any, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.